Welcome to Empire Building, the podcast where we talk about building big businesses and even bigger lives. I'm your co-host, Via Williams.
I'm Sarah Reynolds.
I'm Seychelle Van Poole.
And I'm Wendy Papazan. Today, we're going to give you some quick and easy tips for making your home life more efficient. We're going to cover finances, cooking, meal prep, health, organizational stuff, and just general homemaking, which makes us all sound so Betty Crocker.
For all genders out there, let's call it household management.
I love it.
Love that.
Yeah, household management. Perfect. Yeah, well, I think a good place to start is maybe finances. So, what are your guys' hacks for making your financial life more efficient?
Well, I think the biggest one, and Wendy, you referenced this in one of our other episodes before, is making sure that you have an understanding of your finances, that both of you, if you're in a relationship, have an understanding of your finances and that you're on the same page with your partner with your finances. Because as Wendy mentioned on an episode before, right, that is actually the number one cause for divorce.
I think that was our goal setting with your partner episode.
Yeah, where it's the number one, it is the number one reason for divorce. So getting on the same page financially, either understanding you and your own personal budget, or if you have a partner, you and your family budget and your partner's budget is definitely the number one thing that you need to do. And one of the things I love about that is to have your weekly financial meeting that we all have talked about on multiple podcast episodes, and making sure then you're paying your bills once a month and setting up as many on auto pay as you possibly can.
Yeah, so we pay all of our bills once a month, like Seychelle mentioned, and that has really helped us. Instead of some people pay them as they come, so as the mail comes. So what we do is, as mail comes, bills go in one pile, and they don't get looked at and paid until right at the end of the month, basically. And then we have a spreadsheet which is shareable between both me and my husband, and we copy and paste every month all of the lists. So then that way I can quickly go through, okay, is everything paid? And it literally takes me like 10, 15 minutes, and then we just get on the same page about where we stand financially.
Well, and this isn't a financial tip, but when you talked about the mail, I realized that just having a way to organize your mail right away on a daily basis. So, just going in, throwing your junk mail away right away, and then putting your bills or important mail in some kind of receptacle so that you can look at them once a month.
Yeah.
That's actually really huge. It's like deceptively huge. Mail's one of those necessary evils.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things that I just wanted to throw in on the financial hacks is that it took us a long time in our marriage. We're at, year 24. And it took us a long time to kind of understand roles. So my hack is know your roles. Ben does the day-to-day bills, and I'm long-term savings and investment. It's not that we don't make joint decisions. It's just that one of us is accountable kind of in driving their domain, so to speak. And it's just made it so much better. We each have our lanes. We're not overlapping. I defer to him on the day-to-day. He defers to me on the other one. And it's been so good for our marriage.
That's so good, Via. Yeah, I love that. Well, that's one of the nice things about being married. And I know not everybody listening is married. Smart choice for you guys. But one of the nice things about being married is you do get to leverage out different aspects of your life and let that other person sort of take over.
Well, and oftentimes you're attracted to somebody who has different strengths than you do. So it allows you to kind of take the things you're not as good at and divide and conquer.
So meals and cooking, let's tackle that. Of course, I'm the one introing this. Meals and cooking, all the times I meals and cook. But I am a big Instacarter for making sure that we have things in the house, in making sure that I know my dollar per hour and then what I can leverage out. But we're going to talk about if you're actually doing it.
And what do you do with Instacart? Is it just like once a week or once a month, or what's your system around that?
So a minimum of once a week, we have a shared cart with our nanny and my husband. And as we see things in the house that we need, we all add them. And then sometimes my nanny will just go ahead and order it if she's seeing that things are really low, or I take care of that a lot too. So it just depends. But having that system to where other people or your spouse is in it too, so you're not having to ask him and then also go run back to the store if you forgot something, all of that adds up every time that happens. And so getting on the same page about that has really helped us.
I found too, I love that. And I think that's a gift that this pandemic has given a lot of people, is the embracing of the online grocery ordering. Because when you do the online versus walking around in the store, you buy a lot less
Yeah.
And you buy a lot less junk when you're ordering online versus walking in the store. And I'm guilty about, eating, going shopping when I'm hungry. And then I walk out with all the things that I shouldn't have.
Don't do that. Especially don't do that if you have a 16-year-old son like I do. When we go and we're hungry, it's complete disaster.
So the hack to help with that too is we do all of our meal planning then on Sunday. And we look ahead for the week to say, okay, what meals are we going to plan out and which ones are we going to eat out? So then we're also not only ordering our groceries purposefully, but we're also then planning healthier meals because we're being more intentional about it.
Yeah. And we do all of our meal prep on Sundays.
Yeah.
And what that looks like is we make all of our lunches for the week. And it's really simple. It's usually grilled chicken, vegetables, and 2 kinds of vegetables. And that's it. And that's our lunch. And it saves you time during the day, right? And also probably gives you a healthier option. And we just stack them up in the fridge. And we have 2 different kinds of Tupperware so I can see what's Jay's and see what's mine. And then we also do a significant amount of meal prep for the week on Sunday, which makes, especially like, I don't know about you guys, but by the time Thursday night rolls around, I'm kind of worn out, I'm tired.
For sure.
And I do like to cook. And so I'll just say I do enjoy the cooking, which a lot of people don't, but sometimes it does feel like a chore. And so this helps a lot. And so let me give you an example of what that looks like. So on Sunday, we'll do, grill the chicken. At the same time, I'll make a big pot of like pesto pasta. We'll probably also we'll roast a bunch of vegetables. So whether that's Brussels sprouts or broccoli or carrots or potatoes or sweet potatoes or whatever that looks like, a mix of all of those. We'll probably also do, like we always have Taco Tuesday. We live in Texas, so we got to have Taco Tuesday.
Well, we do it
and
in Seattle.
we'll brown the ground beef and make the taco meat on Sunday night for Tuesday. And so, and sometimes I'll make a big pot of rice, and that can be all done. Like that sounds like a lot of work, but that's generally about like between my husband and I, it's like about a 90-minute experience.
That's good.
And
Wendy.
it's fun. The kids get involved, especially like my son has his lunches too. And so that focus time, it's family time too. So we're like spending time together as a family. That just helps the whole week,
Yeah, I love that. It made me think of one of the most efficient sort of home managers that I know is my mother-in-law. And so Georgia's mom, who's in Nigeria, and she was a high VP in HR. She had a very high power career and managed the household. And when I first went to Nigeria, we woke up the next morning and he goes, okay, today's Sunday, so we're having cereal. I was like, okay. So I just moved on and sort of ignored it. So then Monday comes around and he's like, okay, today's Monday, we're having eggs. And I was like, so every day had, like you said, Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised if you plan. So we do that now too. We know based on the day, basically what the food is.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of brain power away, mental, and you can be more efficient when you just know, okay, this is what we're doing each day. And so Taco Tuesday is a great example of that. But you can do that with every day and sort of have a plan. And then that takes it away. The mental side of things, you don't have to focus on.
Yep, exactly. Yep, I love that. A couple other things that we do is you'll probably cringe when you hear this, Via, but we always make our coffee the night before. So we just push the button when we start. I know she's cringing, but whatever.
I have a whole
and so you just wake up, push the button. You don't have to think about it.
Okay.
And doesn't somebody make the coffee for you?
Oh, no.
You do it yourself. Yeah.
She makes a fancy pour over every morning.
I do fancy pour over. I order special custom coffee.
You do?
She has an experience going on.
Well, she's Seattle.
Right.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times we roll out of bed and we go work out. So, and then the other thing that we do is we prep our like supplements on Sunday at the same time. So we each have like a little supplement container and for the kids and for us. And so then that's just all done. So you don't have to think about it again. That just sits in a place where we can see it all the time.
The other silly thing that we do, but I have loved, is before I drink my coffee in the morning, I have to fill up a huge glass of water and just chug it to get my body started with water. And so it's like my reward for getting a cup of coffee or a cup of tea is having this huge glass of water first thing in the morning.
Yeah. And that leads to health.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some things that we do for health. For me, having a gallon bottle jug of water has been really big for me.
Yeah.
It's sort of my goal for the day. And then also you're not having to continually fill it up. But having water in front of you all of the time is so important to make sure that you're meeting your water goals. Most people are dehydrated and they don't know it. They don't drink enough water.
They actually have these little mugs. I don't have one, or it's like a cup that'll kind of yell at you if you haven't drunk enough water.
Sarah, I've started drinking a gallon a day, and it's probably one of the hardest things I've ever done.
It is.
I'm not in the habit yet. It's really hard, and you have to be organized and prepared because let's be honest, you can't drink 32 ounces before you're going to be on a webinar for an hour or like driving for an hour, and so you have to really plan ahead.
Stretch the bladder.
You have to plan your water consumption.
If you notice today's podcast episode is shorter, it's because Via has to pee at the end of it.
It's because I'm drinking a gallon a day.
She's got to
literally
unbunker
I can
herself.
last 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. And I've also found with health, front loading the morning makes such a difference when it comes to health. So getting all of the important things to your health done as early in the day as possible. For me, it's first thing in the morning, right? Exercise, a healthy breakfast, lots of water, stretching, meditation, whatever it is that you want to do that helps your mental and physical health. Get that done right away before your brain fully realizes what you've had to do.
Well, I think actually meditation any time of the day can be a great hack, efficiency hack, because we get so worn out. And when you get worn out, you get really unfocused. And when you get really unfocused, you waste a lot of time. Yeah. And so the best way to focus yourself is to just meditate and breathe for a few minutes, take a little break, go for a walk, come back, and then dig back into something that's important.
One thing I'm stealing from Via that she has been doing lately that I think is great is she's doing her meetings while moving. And so she has at least a couple of meetings a week that might have been a phone call or a sit-down meeting, and she's taking them and doing walking meetings with those now, or conference calls. I've seen a lot of our neighbors and myself, right, out on passing each other on conference calls instead of sitting in one place. And so if you can combine exercise and a business activity of some kind, that kind of helps keep your body moving during the day too.
Yes, and I have something to add to that, Seychelle. Just keep in mind, whenever someone wants to schedule a Zoom with you, there's sometimes you need to see someone. I get it, face to face. If not, if you change it to a phone call, you can walk. You can walk during your call. I've been doing that more and more where I'm like, you know what? I don't think this one needs to be a Zoom. Would you mind if we change that to a phone call? It's been wonderful to just get out and walk. In fact, my evening walk, I do an evening walk after I've left the office. I can't say after I've done work, because I continue to work. So it's about a 45-minute evening walk, and I'm on the phone the whole time doing my wrap-up calls. It's great.
That's good.
Yeah, well, and it's a way to combine time with your family too.
Yeah.
Exercise, I think, one of us suggested, I think Seychelle was talking about that in a previous episode, just about combining time with your family and exercise. And same with time with your friends. You can do walk and talk if you want.
Yeah. They say sitting's the new cancer. They've been saying that. And so getting a stand-up desk, having meetings while walking, those are all
standing up right now at my stand-up desk.
Encourage your team to do the same, making sure that can we have a walking meeting? And honestly, it helps your brain power being out there too. And so sometimes the meetings can be more efficient when you're walking as well. So I love that.
Yep. Love that.
There's actually psychology to that. When you're walking side by side and you're not staring at someone, it's less less aggressive, less threatening. Yeah.
That's good.
It's why driving phone call or driving conversations with your kids can be good sometimes because you're side by side.
Our next sort of section is really moving from health to general organization. So an ounce of planning can help a lot. It really starts out, I think, with goal planning with your partner annually, getting on the same page. I mean, a lot of us spend a lot of time frustrated with our partner, and some of that's never going to go away. But if you can get on the same page with your goals, finances, family and things like that. So it might feel like it takes a lot of time where you're like, ooh, I have to take, a whole weekend away, a whole night away, 2 days. And yet that kind of baseline can save you so much time throughout the year.
So another thing I do a lot is put out the clothes the night before, know what you're going to wear the night before. If you also are okay with not wearing the same thing, there's a lot of efficiency with not having a different outfit, different every single day.
I love that. We didn't put beauty down as a subtopic, but I think actually women spend a lot of time on their hair, on their makeup. just getting ready, thinking about what you want to wear. It's like I watch my husband get ready in the morning and he puts a t-shirt and jeans on and I have to think about my earrings and does my necklace go with it? And, if I'm on an appointment, like do my shoes match and I have to curl my hair and put on makeup, and it just takes a lot more time, so anything you can do to get more efficient in that area, I think is super helpful too.
And, if you can budget it, I do this about every 2 years where I'll have a stylist come into my closet and come work with me in my closet. And it takes it's 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. I'm not going and spending a ton of money shopping. She's literally helping me clean out and maximize my closet. And we put together outfits and take pictures of them. So literally I just scroll through a list of photos. It's something even a friend could help you do, honestly, if you don't want to pay for it. But then I can just scroll through my photos and I have outfits ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and women in Europe, they have just a lot fewer clothes.
Yeah.
And for some reason, American women, especially, we have, hundreds of pairs of shoes and hundreds of outfits. And that can just be overwhelming. Does it fit me? Do I like the way it looks on me? And, I've had days where I've tried on, I don't even know, 3 or 4 outfits before heading out the door. And gosh, what a waste of time.
Yeah.
I just want to throw in, this sounds so simple. It sounds so simple to lay your clothes out the night before. I don't know why, but I have struggled with this my whole life. I know I'm supposed to do it. And the times I did it, in fact, I did it last night. The times I do it, it makes my morning so much smoother. Yeah. And so I find if I just force that one last ounce of decision energy out of myself, do I have to iron all the things? And all the time I'm doing it that night before, it's just not an easy task for me. I don't know why. And when I do it, it is so much better the next day. Like this morning, I laid everything out. I even had my earrings laid out. It was so great.
You're beautiful, by the way.
Yeah. You do.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, and another tip is to buy clothes that you
better.
don't have to iron. There you go, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we can get into capsule wardrobes and clothing rules. Like I usually wear all solid base, and that it's really easy. I can wear all white or all black or, all blue, all brown, and then my jacket or my scarf or whatever.
I'll scrunch something up in the store too. Like if it wrinkles while I scrunch it, it doesn't get with me.
That's so good. Yeah. Well, and honestly, guys, I don't take a shower every day. I don't work out every day. I don't sweat a lot. And so, I probably save over the course of my lifetime, 30 minutes times, an hour and a half a week times how many weeks, it's hundreds of hours a year.
Well, know what? I take my bath every night. Every single night I take a bath.
That's self-care.
Washing your hair. I mean, a lot of people overwash their hair.
Right.
And so all of those things add up, right? Every time you're doing all of the, and so just planning, having sort of a system around it and having an organization around it. These are the days I'm going to wash my hair, or these are the days. And so then that way, some days you're not doing that, and you definitely will be more efficient those days.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, we kind of got off topic there. We were talking about organizational stuff. We went on to beauty, but I think the beauty thing was really important.
Yes.
A few other planning things. We do a date night on Wednesdays. It's always easier to get a babysitter on a Wednesday. You'll spend less and you'll probably get to the restaurant and the movie that you want to. This is big. Set up your next appointment at the appointment.
Yes.
Right. So every time you go to the hairdresser, the dentist, then you don't have that oh gosh, when do I go to the dentist? When do I need to go to the doctor? You can do that for every person in your family. Yeah. Seychelle mentioned the Sunday planning meeting about finances, but have it for your whole family to talk about everything.
Yeah.
Talk about schedules, right? Talk about, what we're going to have for dinner this week, whatever you guys need to talk about and figure out.
That one thing was life-changing for George and I. Is Sunday night meetings has helped our marriage, has helped our family, has helped our business. That one thing is just getting on the same page and looking at the week ahead together. So we both know what we're doing has been crucial for us.
I love that.
Yeah. Homemaking. I've been teasing at my house that I'm going to start a domestic goddess Instagram anytime I do something domestic. And so I was like, this will help me with that. It's a joke.
Are you seeing you can't see my facial expressions, but I'm literally
I'm not doing
topic.
that. But home management, right? Managing the home. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Well, your home has to be managed one way or the other, whether you're managing people who manage your home, or you're in partnership with someone who's doing the bulk of that, or you're having to do it yourself. It still needs to be managed, because I know that if I have a lot going on in my life, to come home and to have a chaotic environment really, really, really adds to my stress level. So
does.
getting systems for your home actually helps you in your business life.
It does. That's so good. So what are some systems you guys have at your home?
Well, I'm taking notes on this one. I'm not.
Yeah. Well, sure. I always do like a quick tidy up. This sounds kind of crazy, but I think it comes from like before, when I was a stay-at-home mom and even working part-time. Like before my husband would come home, I would just do a quick tidy up. And you're just, I'm not picking up toys off the carpet anymore, but just that, 5 minutes of putting away dishes, hanging up sweaters, just that little habit goes a long way, because what happens if you don't do that is stuff continues to pile up. So somebody sees one dish in the sink and they're like, oh, well, I'm not going to put it in the dishwasher. I'm just going to put it on top of this other dish.
That makes me cringe. I'm like a clean sink kind of a person, and having dishes in the sink drives me bananas. And so like even when I'm cooking, I'm cleaning while I'm cooking. Like I clean immediately when I'm done with the pot. I immediately, like if once it cools, put it in the water, wash it, and immediately put it away. And like my goal is when we eat dinner, the only dishes we finish are the plates that were on the table, and that's it. And so like I'm a clean while I cook. And I think for kids, one thing I've learned with involving our daughter Quinn is when we clean the house, we set a timer for 10 minutes per room, and we go for 10 minutes like all in on that room.
That's
and then
good.
The timer goes off, and then 10 minutes all in on that room. And it helps get her engaged more, because when you have to do it like over a full couple of hours, it's tough to keep a kid's attention.
Well, I love that, Seychelle. And I'm like you, I clean as I go when I cook. And then my one efficiency hack for that is, and this is from Rachel Ray, the cook, she taught me to put out a garbage bowl. So as you're cooking, you have a little bowl there. And as you're chopping and you're putting all your stuff in there, it just makes everything go a bit faster, and you're not having to continue to go to the garbage can. So you learned something, Seychelle.
Yes.
Yeah. Let us know how that goes.
I have an efficiency hack for laundry, and this is sponsored by George Aji, my husband. But when he takes things out of the dryer, he has piles for each family member. So instead of taking them out and then having to go sort, doing it as you do it, as you're taking them out, is a lot faster, smart. He said, versus doing it later. So that was one thing that he does laundry very quickly and enjoys.
That's a three-kid. That's a three-kid family tip.
Yes, three-kid family tip. Yes,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
One thing I love too is once a month I pick a part of the house to clean out. Like my dad was the epitome of he claimed we had a storage unit as kids, and stuff would just disappear out of the house, and we'd be like, well, where did that go? And he'd be like, to the storage unit. And like when we got older, we realized there was no storage unit. It just
so smart.
And got donated somewhere. But it created this habit of, if your stuff isn't cleaned up, it's going to get donated somewhere else. And so like once a month I pick a cabinet, a drawer, a part of a closet, a something, and it takes, when you do it once a month, it takes 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And that part is cleaned out. And so we're always taking something to be donated somewhere, but it's maybe 20 minutes a month.
That's so smart.
Yeah, that's good.
So smart.
I'm just getting rid of stuff. I think that's just a tip is, just to have less stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to keep your house clean if you're not managing. I mean, there's a whole industry built around storage. Storage this, storage that, organization that. Well, if you get rid of a bunch of stuff, you don't have to organize it all.
So true.
And then when your kids get to a certain age, put them to work. I see a lot of families where their kids don't work. They don't work around the house. They're too busy doing sports, and they never learn those. They don't know how to clean up after dinner, or they don't know how to do the laundry, or they don't know how to put their dishes away. So.
Yeah. I have one. I was feeling so left out because this is not my strength, but you just reminded me. My husband's an amazing household manager. We just, we have the kind of non-traditional roles, I guess. But Wendy, you just reminded me, our kids have been doing their own laundry since way younger than most of my friends' kids. And again, there's 2 working parents in the family. But one day I was like, that's it. That's it. If you can do what you do every day, you can do your own laundry. And they have been doing it for so long. I mean, Zoe's 10. She's probably been doing it since she was 7 or 8, which might surprise people. It's not that there's no supervision.
Laundry's not hard.
Yeah,
it's not hard.
Laundry's like the easiest chore.
Yeah, get them to work.
Yeah.
I agree.
And it's kind of fun too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can be.
I don't love laundry.
Not for me.
I
No,
don't love it.
I meant it's fun for other people. That's
can I give you
is.
another hack that I don't do, but I have some friends that do, is they actually just take their laundry once a week to the laundromat, and the laundromat does all the washing, folding, all the things. And it's really not that expensive to do it. So if you don't enjoy it, you can always do that.
Yeah, I think these have been so good. And I do think we should end on making sure that you do know the value of your time. And all these are hacks to make things more efficient and make things faster. But make sure you calculate. Every year, I recalculate my dollar per hour. And I think it's really important, and that helps you with knowing, okay, should I leverage this, or is this something I should do, depending on what it is? And so knowing your dollar per hour and knowing, okay, what are the things that you can leverage? What are the things that you need to do? And also part of that, and we talk about this a lot, what brings you joy? Some of these things are stress relievers. I think I see Wendy doing a lot of these things, and I view that as she enjoys it. She's doing that while she's cooking. She enjoys that. That's relieving some stress for her, And so that's part of it too. But know your dollar per hour. We just met with we're moving, and we just met with a mover, and they were telling me, it's going to be really expensive to have us pack for you guys. And I said, well, how much is expensive? And they said, it's about $250 an hour. And I said, okay. And then I'm thinking in my head, well, that's not expensive to me because I know my dollar per hour is significantly more than that. But I would have probably made a different decision if I didn't know my dollar per hour. So know your dollar per hour. That will help you in some of these things as well, knowing when to leverage and when not to leverage. So
So are you having packers? Did you hire?
Or you would have made a different decision had you moved recently, because if you pack yourself, you realize how painful it is.
Painful.
Yeah. Especially if you're not a detail person, which I don't think any of us are super good at that. So yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, guys, today has been great. I've really enjoyed all the efficiency hacks. We've learned a lot about hacks to make your just organizational family life better. We've learned health hacks. We've learned financial hacks. We've learned beauty hacks in order to save time. And so I really enjoyed this one. It was kind of a quick and dirty one. And yet I took a lot of notes. So don't forget, guys, go out and build a big business, but an even bigger life. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Empire Building. If you like what you heard, join our tribe by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform and help us spread the word by leaving a 5-star rating and review. Until next time, wishing you a life worth living, and remember, you are an empire builder.